right, thank you so much for tuning in. If you're joining us right now, you are watching the Power Talk Show right here on Y254 TV. My name is Feline June. I am standing in for Cheryl Blessings. She couldn't make it today. She'll be here next week. And I'm joined on set by Rita, who is a digital content creator, and Brian, who is a counseling psychologist. Sorry about that. Now, before we took a break, we were talking about personal space in a relationship. Brian, as a psychologist, maybe we'll start with you on this one. What is the importance of personal space in a relationship?
Okay, so personal space helps you understand who are you, what do you like, and then when you look at it in terms of a relationship, you might find that people who have attachment issues, so anytime your partner is not there, as Rita said, you want to be clingy, and maybe me, I like my own space. So your own personal space helps you understand what you really want. I'm an advocate of having solo time, having your own time, enjoying your own company.
True.
There are many people who mama ametoka, maybe you want to go out, you want to be with the boys, but generally you really have to enjoy your own time. Yes.
So, and I'm thinking maybe over time, codependence now becomes a problem.
Yes.
Because now you cannot do anything without this person.
Yeah.
How do you handle that as a partner? If you have a partner who is clingy, you know, someone they're needy, they need you 24. And we're talking about ujamaliza 1 hour. Uko happy? Unarudi saa ngapi? You know. How do you deal with that? Uko na nani? Mnafanya nini? Naweza kuja.
Kuja ni mwenye clean ama mwingine.
So see where you are healthy, but then now your partner is needy. How do you deal with that?
By actually communicating how you feel about it.
Yeah, without making them feel unwanted.
Yeah, and then maybe also try to. I'm not bringing counseling theories. You can try an empty chair technique. Try to tell them talk to you while you're on the other side, and they can try to relate how they would feel if you're doing the same thing. As Rita said, at times ladies, you don't like your men being out, but if you girls night out, unataka inaweza fika 4 or 5.
Yeah, but I think some women don't like the men necessarily being out because there's something they've seen that they know their men when they're out, they're doing something that is not right. But if you trust your man, you never worry when he's out. So I think we should also put that in perspective, depending with the person. If you trust your partner, even if they travel, you never really worry, they'll communicate, they'll be okay, and you know they'll not be there, you know, looking on the side, if you understand what I mean.
Yeah.
So I think it comes from that point. There are women who are okay with their men doing that, and there are also women who are extremely, you know, dependent on the man, and they want them there, not necessarily because they don't trust them, also because of trauma.
Yeah.
Also is a factor.
True.
Yeah. So it depends with how you're looking at it.
Right. Yeah.
Also we talk about the daddy issue. You find maybe you're looking at you're not looking at your partner as your partner, but you're looking
as the father
figure,
as the man in your life now. You're right. And I think also, I think I've seen something like that where like it's a pattern, like your partner has cheated before, and you know when they go out and you confront, like in this case, like she confronted him, and the guy's like, what can I do? Ladies love me. So now she decided like I'm gonna be your pet. He doesn't go anywhere by himself. So I don't know. What do you think is the future?
But my question is,
for
how long? For how long will she do that?
Yeah.
Like you won't even go to the shop. Like you're going to the shop, we are going. You're going to everywhere. Because you said you cannot help it. Ladies love you.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm the lady in your life. So, and I don't know.
Maybe the question is, why is she with this person who says the ladies love him, instead of being assertive and saying, I have a woman maybe, and I am honest to my woman. So maybe you have to, we talk about boundaries. So it means if the guy can talk like that, the boundaries are enmeshed.
Yeah, true. And what are the long-term effects of that? Like if you're in a relationship like that, you've already lost your identity and you stay, like in this case, like you know what is happening, but you don't want to back out, you love this person and you stay. In the long run, what do you think is the future of that relationship?
is not good for your kids, especially if you have kids. And I'll give an example. I don't know if it's a good example to give on TV. You watch it's called Young African and Famous, something like that. Anne Idibia and her husband.
Yeah.
And they were sitting on a bench like this, and then they were having dinner, and they were talking about relationship and cheating or something. And the husband said men are wired to cheat, and the wife is seated right there.
Yeah.
I wish you saw how I felt like I could just go into the TV and kick this woman.
I know, but I feel like that's what Brian is talking about, though, because Idibia has cheated before, many times, and has kids outside marriage, but Anne has
always been there.
Oh.
And that's the problem. That's the problem, because if your man can say that in your presence, you can only imagine what he can say when you're not there. And then too, for him to say it publicly like that, and he has kids, he has children with you, can you imagine the kind of messaging he's sending to his kids? If they are boys, that men can do whatever they want. If they are girls, women have to tolerate whatever character a man has. And it's not good for your kids. And if you don't have kids, maybe it's a bit, because it's just you. But if you have kids, and I think we are all Africans, and we can relate to these scenarios where you grew up in a home where the father abuses the mother, and you have boys and you have girls. Chances are the boys are going to do the same, or they're going to be victims, and it's the same with the girls. They're going to do the same. So as much as you think love is the one that is conquering all, you're affecting your kids in the long run. And we are now in therapy because of that. So do you really want to damage your kids because of a choice that you have? And I always say this, if you are a woman and you have, you have poor taste in men, do not punish your kids for that, because your kids are going to have a dad that is maybe abusive or is not a good man, and then they're going to think that's normal. And then when it gets to your kids, you start understanding what you're tolerating wasn't really good. So I don't accept women staying in such a situation, especially if you know this is something that has become a character. Like for Idibia, it's now a character. Once we are like, okay, we can forgive. But if it's 2-3 times, it's now a pattern and it can change.
And you even see this in relationships with grown-ups. Like, I remember a friend of mine telling me, like, he once dated this woman who, when they're arguing, she would expect him to hit her. Because, like, if you don't hit me, then you don't love me. That is the only form of love she knows.
Actually, it's more of being trauma bonded.
Right.
And because it's traumatic, you've already grown knowing this is okay. Maybe, okay, we live in a world right now that we as men, maybe we know, like, men are polygamous. It's okay to cheat. Even ladies and men, both of us cheat. So, and it's okay as long as we come to the same house.
Did you see when they said Kenyan ladies are literally the worst cheaters in Africa? Like, on that list, you're number one.
I've seen it. It's because we are mirroring what the men are doing.
And they're doing a good job.
Yeah, we've learned. Sometimes they say the student becomes the teacher. So we have become better than the teachers now. We are doing it way better, and you're ending up raising kids that are not yours. Which is even sad. But I think I don't know how people move past cheating. It's really, really difficult, because your partner has to earn your trust back. And trust is easy to lose and difficult to earn. So if somebody has, put you in a situation where you do not trust them, you constantly be, wondering, okay, they said he's at the supermarket. Is it really supermarket or is Jennifer's house? You know what I mean? So I think it's something you have to look at it from a point of, he did this once and he's really, really, really apologetic. And every day he's proving to me, or she's proving to me, this is not their character. It was a weakness in the moment, which I do actually not believe. You don't trip and fall in these things. But for the sake of it's a choice. And for the sake of people who have kids and they've decided to move past that, I think it's something you have to contend with and never bring it up in every argument. That because you did this, that's why I did that. So I think you should try to also learn to let go and be able to move forward for the sake of the relationship. But if you do not want the relationship, then it's okay, you can just end it. But it's really difficult to move past cheating. It's really not.
Right, Brian, have you handled such cases? Like, do people eventually, like in the case of cheating, they've come to you, they need to save the marriage, the man says, I've changed.
Yes.
how hard is it to earn the trust? And have you seen a couple come to you and they move past it and the relationship now flourishes and they move past what happened? They get the trust back.
You say trust is key, number one, and to reach a point whereby trust is now up to 100%, it means there has to be a lot of work which is being put in. And we talk about, I'll go back to attachments. You were in a secure attachment, but now you're in unsecure attachments.
Right.
And in unsecure attachments, there are three. There is unsecure, there's a anxious, there's a disorganized, and there's a avoidant. So it also depends with what type of attachment your partner is at. Because maybe she's anxious, the way she said, is he at a supermarket? And I'm an avoidant person. So this means I'll avoid each and every confrontation. So we'll never handle anything. So it needs work, But as I said, work means it's two ways. And we talk about a relationship being a unit. Yes.
Right. And of course, you guys at home can be part of this. And that's what we're talking about today. We are talking about, the question for today really is, how do you find space in a relationship? I mean, like your personal space. How important is personal space when you're in a relationship? Talk to us. We are on Twitter, we are on Facebook, we are on Instagram. Y254 channel is where you find us. And I can see some feedback right here. There's Franklin Ward Judy saying, hello, watching live nikiwa Kangundo Road, Saika Junction. Personal space is good. Betty Njenga says, taking notes. Akiata mimi personal space is my thing. Simu mingi hapana aki. Stephen Pade anasema tricky question. Well, I don't know about that, but I don't think it's that tricky though, because I know people who really, really love their personal space. Delvin says there's nothing like personal space in a relationship. Boaz Mogaka anasema to relax. Who to relax? We need to relax. Right, and by personal space, I don't think a lot of people maybe understand that. We'll come back to that. I have main Digo, I think, anasema okay. J Boy anasema too hard. Right, and that is just some of the feedback we are receiving from the guys watching at home. And maybe we'll go back to the definition of personal space. Rita, you're going to take us through this. Ndo watu wasiseme hakuna kitu kama personal space. I think what people think we're talking about is when maybe you're in a relationship and it becomes too much, like, can you take some time off? Like we reevaluate. Like maybe during that time ni kama sort of like a breakup. I think that's what people think we're talking about, but we're talking about when you're still in a relationship, so that you do not lose your identity, you do not lose your values, you don't lose who you are. And we said personal space is important. But for the guys who are just catching up, maybe you can, yeah.
I think personal space, first of all, do you even have a space before you get into a relationship? Because as African women, which is something also a little bit traumatic, we are conditioned to put everybody else first and then
before you.
Even when you see how your mothers behave when you have guests at home. Wageni wakule kwanza, then wewe unakula mwisho, unakula miguu za kuku. You know.
Vikombe za wageni. Na sahani za wageni.
Yes.
Na nyinyi mnakulia za mabati na plastic.
Yeah. So like unajijua kwanza before. Do you have an identity? Do you have something going for yourself? Or are you just walikwambia go to school, soma, get a job, get a husband. So you're just waiting. Like you really have not formed anything for yourself, like maybe a hobby. You have friends of your own. You have something you do that you personally enjoy that has nothing to do with somebody you date. Whether you're dating them, you still do it. Whether you are with them or you are single, you still do it. So personal space, it doesn't necessarily mean you have to move out of the house. You can still do these things, and if you have a good partner, they will still allow you, allow me to trigger some people, they will still let you do what it is you are doing, and they're actually happy to support you. Like for me, I do like videos on TikTok. My boyfriend is not that kind of person. He doesn't even like TikTok. But sometimes he sees something and he say, oh, you babe, go and talk about this. Like, I saw this, go and talk about it, or say this, add this. Sometimes he reads the comments, he replies.
And that is the support you need.
Yeah. Like, he doesn't have to be in my videos, because I also don't want him to be there already, because he's not a husband. What if he disappears and I have to start answering to people? You know what I mean? So I'm like, he's supporting in his little capacity. He's still trying to, let me know that whatever it is you're doing, it's your thing. We don't have to do it together. You do it, and then he likes watching UFC. It's not my thing. For me, I feel like it's a very aggressive game. But once in a while, I was like, okay, let me watch with him. And it's like, he's telling me things. He's teaching me, like, oh, this is who and who, and they're doing this.
People love that.
Yes.
Everybody, all parties, men, women. Like, when you're women and you don't know anything about sports, they would love to explain it to you. And even when we are watching our own reality TV, we'll be like, okay, so this is this. She with this, like, it's so much fun explaining.
So I think people at home don't think that personal space means moving out or divorce or breaking up. No. Doing the things that you as a person, because you are a whole human being before a relationship, before being a mother, before being a wife, you are
a Rita.
Yes.
You are Rita before anything else.
Yes. So even when you have kids, you still maintain that. You still try to maintain you, because at some point your kids are going to move out of the house. Your kids are going to go to school. Maybe your husband will travel, or maybe, God forbid, will die. So does it mean your life will stop now because these things are not there? So like, being really grounded in yourself and keeping these things in your relationship, whether you have kids, whether yes, just
before you are Mama Nani, you are Rita.
Yes.
So na kwanza, we have normalized it in Africa. Wanaitanga Mama Caro, Mama Sijui,
Yeah.
So then that becomes now your identity.
They don't even know your name. They don't even know your name.
They don't know your name. That's true. Right, now, another thing, something else came up in the comment section, and I think we should also talk about that. Phones and relationships. How many times are we allowed to call in a day? And is it okay to go without calling your partner for a long time, as long as you are okay and they are okay? So, acha niongee na wanaume on this one. How many times are we allowed to call?
I can say watu ni kuelewana. Watu ni kuelewana, na ujue mtu wako pia. Maybe kuna ule mtu apendi calls. Na kuna ule mtu anataka kupigiwa. Ukikosa kumpigia na kwamba, kwani unafanya nini? Why you not calling me?
Yeah.
So I say, once again, communication is key. And for me personally, now, this is remove the counselor bit. Personally, I would say just good communication, but not, it doesn't have to be thorough, kila saa. But ile kidogo too, like maybe I know where you are, maybe who you are with, but I don't really need to be there each and every time, because I need you to also enjoy your time. Because an example, uko girls night out ama uko boys night out, but kila saa uko kwa simu. To the point niliona kuna watu walikuwa wanasema you put your phones in a jar, tuone nani itakuwa inalia sana. Hiyo ndo analipa bill. Umeona?
Mwenye anapigiwa ndo analipa bill.
Sana ndo analipa bill. So of course kuna ule mtu anajua gamazee hii ni mimi.
And there was another one actually. There was another one where they were calling. Mwenye mtu wake atashika, huyo ndo sasa wewe ndo, like, you're safe if they calling your partner picks, because there are others who won't pick up. There's also that, in as much as there's calling too much, there are those who don't call at all. Me normalize the time utafika home, then I'll call you. Like, in between the day, no matter what is happening, don't call me, don't reach out to me. I'll call you when I call you. Which is also a problem, right?
But in that sense, I would say it's how now you base your relationship. When you may decide, maybe this is the time I would like to call you. You may decide. So maybe the girlfriend doesn't have problems, but girls wake wako na shida.
And we actually didn't talk about that. The friendships. Can you talk about that? The role of friends play and relationships? Because also there's that. There's your partner, you guys are cool, but then there's that guy. When unalipia chali yako, Bob the bill, that continue. When he finds money, he will find his type, you know. And then now also does that align with today's topic?
I think it does, because there are also women who form an identity based off their girlfriends. My girlfriend said this, I should do this, you should be doing this for me. So I think also friends affect relationships. there's positive and then there's negative.
There's negative.
So if you have genuine friends, and by genuine, I mean like people who really care about you and they want to see you do well in life, they will always give you a good advice, and they will also give you room to express yourself and say, you know what, if you like it, I love it, but this is my opinion. You don't have to take it, but this is what I think about this and this and that. But you don't have to take it and go and tell your man that I said this is blah, blah, blah.
Right.
So I think also in relationships, and I think we are mostly talking about romantic, but there's also platonic, which is friendship and boys.
Yeah.
So I think this topic really fits in both, because some women, there's this thing, I don't know if you went to boarding school, there's this thing of cliques. There's the head of the clique, and then there's the rest. So whatever she says goes.
Yeah.
So if you're in that situation,
even when you're uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But she's leader, shasema.
Lazima ufuate, because you don't want to miss out on the top layer or whatever it is that is happening. So, so if you have such a group of friends, like that kind of dynamic, most of the things they say, I think that you're going to start pushing on your partner. Like, I want a phone, I want this, I want that, just because Irene has it, and she said, and that's the thing, she said her man bought for her. Do you really know if he actually bought it? And that's another thing that we as women don't really question, because we normally push it that he did this, but we don't know the relationship.
My man. There was even a challenge on TikTok.
So it's making women put a lot of pressure on men.
Right.
And in most cases, you come out and find out that it was actually not true. You have ruined a good relationship based of what your girlfriend said or did. And also, girls need to admit that some of the girlfriends you have are not good people. They don't have good values. They don't have good morals. And
even just their intentions towards you, they may not be pure.
That's true. And also, how they look at relationships. Also, some really admire relationship and some don't. So if you have a friend that really doesn't see a value in having a man, and they are saying some not so nice things about men are not like that, and then you have a man, so you don't even want to say the nice things your man is doing, because she's like,
you're afraid.
You normally say sometimes through your cliques you share energies. So you might pick energies that are negative and bring them on the table. However, maybe I can look at it on the other sense that also, are your friends allowing you to spend time with your man? Ama wanasema wewe tangu upate nani unaga time.
That's true.
Because you need friends that can understand. You've now gotten a job. You now have responsibilities. You also have
you have a kid.
You have a kid.
Wanataka bado mwende sherehe, mtoto ni mdogo kwa sababu awe siku hizi tangu kwani wewe ni wa kwanza. You know?
Because other boys unapata like you have boys mwenye wanasema mtu wako anakuga mtiaji. Because maybe you're in the house and maybe
utapata mwingine.
And you part here saying that you mtu wako mtiaji. I read something that I personally also believe. If your friends disrespect your man, it's because you have allowed it. How you speak about your partner, how you speak about your partner to your friends makes them respect him or her or not. I saw a video of a woman who is a married woman. She has 2 kids with this man, and this man was going on vacation. And he paid first-class ticket for his friend and paid economy for her and for the kids.
No.
And when she complained and said she doesn't want to go, the friend, who is not even the husband, went and told her that this is why we actually leave you, because you're not a good person. You don't even appreciate when your man is doing something good. Do you think this man, if the man really respected the wife, he has the guts to even say that to her? So sometimes we, as the people in the relationship, our friends treat our men based off how we treat them. Or women. If you disrespect them and talk about, mjinga, ule mwenye sijui what, that is the same. That is, they will never really think that he has any value or she has any value. So also look at how you talk about your partner to your friends, so that they are able to respect him. And it's not that you have to hide like the not so good stuff that you're going through, but also just for your partner to also feel like your friends look at him as somebody who has value and you respect him, and he has an opinion in your life. Talk to your friends good about your partner, because if you talk trash, they're going to disrespect him, and then you're going to start hating your friends because they did something to your man, but you are the one who gave them the leeway to do whatever it is.
So you need to also have boundaries on when it comes to talking about your relationship.
Yes.
Where do we draw the line? Like, because this is really, okay, there's someone who talked about their bedroom affairs with their friends, and then now they go disrespect the man. They're like, oh, and the way he looks like, kumbe anakuanga, you know. So now, best of what you told them, and now they have ground to now judge and to give opinion based on what you said. That is, that's, I hope we are learning. Right? I hope we are learning today.
But it also matters, who are your friends? Are they people that will guide you, or are they people that will speak stories that you tell them?
All right, so now even we're winding up, right? Because of time. So I would like to know from you, how, now coming from a relationship that was like that, and now you want to do better, how do you identify a healthy relationship from the onset? Before, you know, umetoka huko ulikuwa nakaziwa, you're being controlled, you're like, I'm done with all that. But sometimes some things are patterns, and you'll find like, ukitoka kwa relationship, you go to this one, same thing. You know. So then, how do you now, how do you actually, maybe they're like red flags, how do you tell from the word go? How do you know what to avoid? How do you now maintain a healthy relationship moving forward when you're getting into now a new relationship?
For me first, I normally ask a funny question. I ask a man his relationship with his mother, his relationship with his sister, and any other females in his life. And I know the dynamic is different for sisters and mothers, but how a man talks about his female people in his life tells you a lot about how he thinks about women. So that's how I start. And then in terms of like picking out the red flags, it's mostly the things they don't say more than the things they say, because people, they are quick with, you know, words, and they can tell you things to just make you fall in love. And
women love that.
Because we like listening to all the nice things. So I think, first of all, knowing your non-negotiables, first of all, and then figuring out what it is you can you're compromising on, and then also trying to sort of read the person, not necessarily what they are saying, but how they're behaving. Because mostly men are mostly character than it is words. How is he treating you? If says he loves you, and then he doesn't call you for 6 days, and then you still think he loves you. So I think you need to be clear in what it is you want as a woman, and not compromising, especially the things that are important to you. And then for the man, mostly his relationship, how he talks about his ex, which is a bit ish-ish, but it's very important. If he's trashing the ex and saying she's a bad person, she did this, what did you do to make her do whatever it is? Because nobody's coming to you and telling you, you know what, I'm a good person, I'm an angel, the other person is horrible.
And they're not there to defend themselves.
They're not there to defend themselves. So I think you have to look at, you know, other things besides him as a person.
Right.
His friends also, how they talk about women, what they do, and what is the value of their friendship. If the value is just going out every Saturday, picking up women and going to Naivasha and doing it, that is not somebody you want to be with, because that's him.
Because they show me your friends and I'll show you who you are.
But if he tells you that,
what if he doesn't talk?
If it doesn't talk, then the thing is you have to mostly use your intuition. As a woman, you're never wrong.
Women have strong intuition.
You're never wrong.
Right. Brian, your take on that as we wind up, maybe just in a few words.
My take on that, maybe a few words that I can add is being true to your authentic self. Because before I enter a friendship, before I enter a relationship, who am I as a person? What do I want? What do I stand for? Where am I grounded? The other thing is also prioritizing on your you time. And during your you time, you can try to journal. And in journaling, I talk about also gratitude journaling. Look at the things you're grateful for. I'm grateful about. Another thing I can talk about is also when you offer a relationship, try to understand yourself. I saw a video that was saying when men have accomplished everything, they marry the next thing ahead of them. But it's not true. It's not true. At some points, it may be true, but it's not true.
But it's not,
because there are things that, this is how also a woman treats you. Get to understand your partner's love language. Get to understand their attachment style. Get to understand where they're coming from. Because I might judge you with your ex, but maybe it's the things you went through. And as I say, you're too clingy, but maybe you've never had people that are there for you, but don't want to be close as much. They want their own time. So you really have to understand where your partner is coming from. Yes.
Thank you so much. I love that. I hope we've learned a lot today. I know I have personally, but this to be continued, right?
Yeah.
We can continue sometime. Today we're talking about romantic relationships. Maybe next time we can talk about platonic relationships. Then, Thank you so much for coming through. And of course, your social media, you are a digital content creator.
Yes.
So maybe talk about what you create and where people can find it.
So on TikTok, my name is Sherina254, same as Instagram. I'm rarely on Facebook. So I normally talk about commentary on social issues. I talk about politics. I talk about work and living abroad. So just generally things that affect women. I'm so passionate about women because I have a background in gender development, and I like seeing especially black women live their best life, not to discriminate black men, because nowadays we are triggered by everything. If I say black men feel some type of way. But I like talking about black women, you know, because I feel like we've been marginalized a little bit to put other people ahead of us. So I want women to also prioritize themselves, live the best life, and just give society the greatness that they have to give. Yeah.
Awesome. Love that. Brian, in maybe just 20 seconds, where your social media and also where people can also be.
My personal side of social media is Mosh Brian at Instagram. My company's name, because I'm a director at Dawn Wellness, it's Dawn Wellness Consultancy Space. So you can find us at Instagram and also Facebook. TikTok, I'm Brian_Mosha.
Right.
Yes.
So for those who want to know the rates, those who want to talk, you have issues you want to address, reach out to Brian. He'll be more than ready to tackle all that. That's the expensive mnafikiria. Anyway, thank you so much for taking time to talk to us. Next week, of course, you're going to be with Cheryl Gabriela, Mimit Patan. Wow, Cheryl Blessing, right here on Power Talk. And of course, that is until next Thursday. Do enjoy the rest of our programs and enjoy the rest of your week. All right? See you then.